Welcome back to our channel at Splash Recaps, and we truly appreciate your continued support. Today, we'll be discussing a captivating 2018 American survival drama film called Adrift. We advise you to be cautious of potential spoilers, but most importantly, sit back, relax, and enjoy the experience. The protagonist of the story is a young woman named Tammy Oldham, or simply Tammy. Hailing from California, she possesses a deep passion for sailing and finds immense joy and fulfillment in navigating the open waters. Her dream is to lead a life of happiness and contentment while sailing across the seas. After completing her graduation, Tammy decides to embark on a sailing adventure and finds herself in Tahiti, a breathtakingly beautiful island. During her time there, she crosses paths with a man named Richard, who has been residing on the island for an extended period. Tammy discovers that Richard shares similar passions and aspirations for sailing, and he also owns a personal yacht that he frequently uses for his maritime journeys. As they spend more time together, their connection deepens, and they develop mutual feelings of admiration. Tammy becomes intrigued by Richard's extensive experience in boat building and eagerly seeks to learn everything about his life at sea. She is captivated by the allure of the place and expresses her desire to explore the ocean further alongside him. Richard shares with Tammy that the reality of the place she is witnessing differs from her perceptions. He explains that the location is not as extraordinary as she might imagine. The climate varies with cool nights and hot days, which can be harsh on the skin. He mentions that it's a place that keeps a person alert, awake, and constantly hungry. Richard warns that isolation at sea can lead to hallucinations, causing individuals to see things that aren't really there. The reason Richard imparts this knowledge is based on his own experiences and personal encounters with these challenges. He emphasizes that amidst all these aspects, the most awe-inspiring and beautiful sight he has ever witnessed is the sunset. The breathtaking view of the setting sun is indescribable and transcends human expression. As their bond deepens, Tammy and Richard find themselves falling in love, and they spend 6 months together living on the yacht, cherishing each passing day. During this time, Richard's old friends from California, Peter and his wife Christine, unexpectedly visit him. The couple has a stunning personal yacht, which they had to leave behind due to an urgent situation. They earnestly request Richard to bring their yacht back to California, offering him a generous reward for his assistance. Tempted by the prospect of a substantial financial gain upon completing the task, Richard gladly accepts the deal and agrees to help them. Richard and Tammy find themselves drawn to Peter's yacht and gladly accept the deal. They purchase all the necessary items and meticulously plan their journey, determining the specific islands where they'll make stops along the 4,000-mile route, which appears quite lengthy. Despite the challenges ahead, Richard takes a significant step and proposes to Tammy, who joyfully accepts his marriage proposal. As they set sail, their happiness seems unbridled, but their fate takes an unexpected turn when they detect an approaching storm. A bird, seemingly carried by the strong wind, lands on their yacht, leaving them bewildered, as there is no visible shore nearby. The radio signals them of an impending hurricane, and Richard faces the dilemma of deciding which direction to steer the yacht. Tammy suggests waiting at the current location until the storm passes, a decision Richard initially opposes due to the time already spent. Regrettably, their hastily made decision doesn't yield the desired outcome, and they realize they are in trouble. Realizing the gravity of their mistake, Richard and Tammy witness an immense storm approaching their yacht, accompanied by colossal waves that seem insurmountable. Distressed by the unfolding situation, they attempt to steer the yacht through the tempest, but their efforts prove futile. Faced with imminent danger, Richard urgently urges Tammy to seek shelter below deck to protect herself from the approaching waves. As Tammy follows Richard's instructions, a massive wave engulfs the yacht, carrying him away, while she also tumbles and loses consciousness. When Tammy regains consciousness the next morning, she finds herself surrounded by water and the wreckage of their now destroyed yacht. The incident has left her badly injured and in excruciating pain, but she musters the strength to crawl out of the wreckage. Desperately searching for Richard, she calls out his name, hoping he might have fallen overboard. Despite screaming and trying to reach him through the radio, all communication devices have been damaged beyond repair by the ferocious storm. The heartbreaking truth dawns on her: Richard is nowhere to be found. Stranded, injured, and devastated, she is left alone to cope with the aftermath of the calamity. After their yacht was utterly destroyed, leaving them stranded at sea, Tammy feels overwhelmed with despair, especially after losing Richard. In the distance, she spots the lifeboat, which was initially placed on their yacht. This gives her hope that Richard might be on the lifeboat, but it's located far away from their current position. Tammy faces a dilemma: leaving her yacht behind to investigate the lifeboat could result in losing her only shelter, which she knows is not a wise decision. However, Tammy's determination leads her to explore her surroundings, and she discovers a massive curtain that resembles the sail responsible for propelling the yacht forward. Though fixing it proves to be an arduous task for one person, Tammy refuses to give up. Despite the challenges, she perseveres, and eventually, she successfully repairs the sail. With the sail fixed, Tammy sets sail towards the lifeboat, still hopeful that Richard might be there. Her journey is fraught with difficulty and uncertainty, but she pushes forward, fueled by her love for Richard and her refusal to abandon hope. Upon reaching the lifeboat, Tammy quickly secures herself with a rope and jumps into the water, swimming to the lifeboat to find Richard. She discovers him in a severely injured state, barely surviving the storm, and it seems impossible for him to have endured such conditions. With determination, Tammy brings Richard back to their yacht, placing him on board. Despite his injuries, Richard manages to survive, giving Tammy renewed hope and strength. She tends to his wounds, carefully bandaging his injured feet and addressing the damage to his ribs. Tammy's resolve intensifies as she contemplates their escape plan. She pumps out the water from the yacht, repairs broken parts using duct tape, and attempts to decipher the map to find a way out of their predicament. Although the map proves challenging to interpret, she persists in her efforts to gather crucial information. While studying the map, Tammy discovers that they could potentially reach Santiago in 20 days if their yacht smoothly navigates the journey. However, the area is plagued by strong winds and powerful waves, making it unlikely that they will reach their destination in mere days. Instead, they face the grim possibility of being trapped at sea for an extended period, possibly even a lifetime, without any assistance or sight of nearby islands. Recognizing the urgency of their situation, Tammy gathers all the available food on the yacht, realizing they have limited supplies that might last for only 14 to 15 days at most. The most critical challenge they face is the shortage of drinking water, as the water pipe broke during the storm, leaving them with scant water reserves. These trying circumstances put their endurance to the test, as they are stranded in an isolated location where no help is likely to come. Facing the stark reality of their predicament, Tammy and Richard are filled with a sense of hopelessness, as they confront the potential of a perilous and uncertain fate, unable to see any escape from the dire situation they find themselves in. Initially, their situation seemed dire, with seemingly no possibility of survival. The scarcity of food was a significant issue, especially since Tammy's vegetarian diet complicated matters further. Richard reassures her that they won't run out of food if she stops attempting to catch fish. Despite Tammy's reluctance, she tries to catch fish, but her efforts prove unsuccessful. She feels remorseful for not understanding Richard's advice earlier and apologizes to him. Richard, on the other hand, is unable to contribute much due to his severe injuries and broken bones. However, hope dawns when it starts raining. Tammy is overjoyed and collects rainwater in all available utensils. Although this brings some relief, it doesn't solve their food shortage, which continues to worsen day by day. One day, Tammy spots a massive boat in the distance while they are lying on the yacht. Eager for help, she shoots a flare gun to signal for assistance. Unfortunately, the passing boat ignores their distress signal, assuming there couldn't be anyone in such a remote location. Their desperate situation remains unchanged, and the lack of help deepens their sense of isolation and vulnerability. After 20 days of being stranded, their condition worsens significantly. Tammy becomes a victim of hallucinations, as previously mentioned in the movie. She experiences strange changes in her perception, believing that she is losing her sanity and that escape is impossible, leading to a feeling of impending doom and death. With limited supplies, they survive on bottles of wine to satiate their hunger. Despite their challenging circumstances, Tammy continues to work tirelessly and struggle to care for Richard. As 40 days pass on the yacht, Tammy's hallucinations intensify, consistent with the phenomenon of prolonged isolation at sea, where everything seems deceptive and untrustworthy. She is haunted by powerful hallucinations of Richard, unable to accept his death due to the trauma she has experienced. Tammy's perception becomes distorted, and she imagines Richard's presence even though he is not physically there. She talks to herself and believes that Richard is nearby, cherishing his memory, making it incredibly difficult for her to come to terms with his loss. Finally, after 40 days, she begins to accept the painful reality that Richard is no longer alive, and she starts to separate from her vivid imagination of him. Throughout the film, we witness Tammy's emotional journey as she constantly feels and visualizes Richard's presence, even though he is no longer there. However, fate intervenes, and she is given a chance to live once again when she spots a ship in the distance. In a desperate attempt for rescue, she shoots the flare gun, catching the attention of the people on the approaching ship. After enduring nearly 41 days of seemingly insurmountable challenges at sea, Tammy manages to survive. This incredible true story showcases the harsh realities of being stranded in the ocean for an extended period. Grateful for her second chance at life, Tammy's experience doesn't deter her love for sailing. Instead, she embraces her survival story and writes a book, recounting how Richard played a vital role in helping her during the difficult times they faced together. Richard's voice still echoes in her memory, and she acknowledges that it is because of him that she is alive today. With this poignant scene, the movie comes to a close, leaving viewers with a powerful tale of resilience, survival, and the enduring impact of human connection. Thank you for watching.